Come on down. You're the next contestant on Price is Right Wrestling, and we've got some great prizes for you on this holiday edition. Hooray! Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate. We've got more Grayson Waller than you know what to do with, and you get more Grayson Waller stuffed in your stockings, whether you fucking like it or not. Ha ha ha! You'll love Grayson Waller, damn it, and you'll like it. Oh shit, the ratings are falling. Add more Grayson Waller. Ha ha ha! And also you get Von Wagner because they just can't give up on the Cro-Magnum looking motherfucker that makes his dad look like Lou Thez in a goddamn ring. And also you get some questionable decisions, and you get Tony D'Angelo versus Pete Dunne in a banger of a main event, and also some really bad comedy. Hooray! I'm John Renton with my review of WWE NXT 2.0. And yes, Merry Christmas, everybody. This was certainly a holiday edition of NXT, in the sense they phoned this fucker in. There were a few decent moments, and that's the frustrating thing about NXT 2.0, is there's actually some good stuff with this rebranding. But I remember when NXT actually used to fucking matter. I looked forward to it, even if some of the presentation was kind of bland, and there were some roster members I didn't care about. At least the matches usually had energy and there was life and enthusiasm, and now it's just all kaleidoscopic bullshit that's got way too many moving parts, way too much shit thrown at the screen, and throwing all these characters on camera doesn't really mean that they're going to get necessarily over. You're going to recognize them, and then you're not going to see them in any kind of prominent role for a few weeks, and then you're going to say, oh yeah, these people exist. There were a lot of matches, a lot of moments that were just thrown out there. Anyway, so Ciampa's already in the ring. No one will survive. Apparently nobody that was from the original NXT. By this time next year, I don't think there's going to be any NXT original that's part of the brand. Seriously, I think Roderick Strong, even though he just signed a new contract, will be gone. I think a lot of people are going to be gone. I wouldn't be surprised if Pete Dunne, even though he just re-signed, somehow leaves. I totally see this just becoming game show format where they just rotate people in and out, and none of them really matter outside of a few. Enoch's Rex Steiner saying, well, hey, I know you're going to come on and you're going to interrupt me, and good lord, he's just like his goddamn dad. Seriously, I'm calling him Rex Steiner because it's his goddamn name, by the way. I'm not going to call him BB. I'm not going to call him Beaker, because Braun Beaker actually would have been kind of funny. Oh, wait, somebody already did that Photoshop. A hilarious guy, by the way. Not me. I can't do Photoshop. So Ciampa goes over what happened. They're going to have a rematch at New Year's Weevil. He weevils and he wobbles, but he won't fall down. That's happening in 2 weeks. And then Ciampa says, well, there's no replacement for experience. There's no copy of The Replacements for Experience. If you saw the movie The Replacements, I'm sorry. It was a bit weird. So he's like, you just aren't ready to be champion. You aren't ready to swim in the deep waters or wherever. You will drown. I will do this. And then it's too soon for you to be champion. And then Rex says, oh, okay, grabs him by the throat, goes to press slam him, and Ciampa's like, no, and he sets him down, grabs the title, and says, in 2 weeks, he's just, God, he's so good. He's so good already. Yes, it's going to take him a while for him to iron everything out, but he gets it. He fucking gets it already. He is one of the shining examples of NXT 2.0. And then we go to Grayson Waller on his Instagram, knocking AJ Styles. He wants to be called the phenomenal Grayson Waller. There is more of a chance of me becoming a millionaire or even 100,000aire than there is of Grayson Waller being called the phenomenal Grayson Waller. And then we have Dakota and Raquel fisting and piping each other backstage. I usually have to pay extra to see this on camera and also in person. Don't ask me how that happens. I can't talk about that till the cases are settled. Don't ask. But yeah, they're fisting, piping each other, beating each other up. Dakota goes face first into a big old box, big old empty box, if you will. What's in the box? And this is a street fight. So they don't actually have the bell ring for a while. They're just fighting backstage. They go outside the CWC, Capitol Kaleidoscopic Center, and that would be the CKC. It's like the DKC, the DK crew, if you will. DK, Donkey. Okay, I'll stop referencing Donkey Kong 64 and old video games. Never. I'm always going to be doing that for no reason. They attack the Highlander. Not the Highlander. There can only be one. And it was a white one, if you will. And they battle during the break, where they eventually get in the ring. Of course, naturally, Raquel tries to send Dakota over the wall by sending her through the wall. And there's trash cans, a trash can stomp. There's a table in the corner that they don't use. I wonder why. There's a power bomb onto the steps. Ouch. Why did Dakota lose this match? If they're trying to reheat Raquel, to get her back to facing Mandy Rose for a little bit, she's going to be part of this 3-way match that's coming up here in a bit, but seriously, Dakota, I don't know what they're doing with Dakota. Are they going to call Dakota back up? Like, what are they doing? I mean, I'm not saying Dakota is going to be like the best of all time, but she's certainly better than the creative they've been giving her. And she's always losing. So anyway, Tony D then does a pre-tape on how he's going to beat up Peter Dune. And like, I'm going to sing the Dune song. Dune, 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 Dune. And Tony D'Angelo says, you're going to find out what happens when you mess with me. Because he references when Dunn violently fingered him on camera. And not the last time he'll do that. So, Raquel says that she will not leave until she gets her title shot. So she waited all the way through the break and that Tony D'Angelo pre-tape to have Cora Jade come down and say, well, I want a title shot. And then she says, well, you may be my friend. Yeah, we all see what happens to Raquel's friends. But when it comes to the NXT Women's Championship, it's every woman for themselves. Mandy is in a pool on the set of The Strangers Pray at Night. And if you've seen that movie, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. And she's wearing the title in the pool. I hope that thing has a chlorine protection on it. And then she says, well, hey, somebody, like, you've got a match at New Year's Evil. I'm going to take you both out. But tonight, JC and JC, my God, attack both of them, lay them out, and put Raquel through the table. Hooray! So, yeah, that ate up a lot of time. But you know what? At least the women got featured, for a good amount of time. And then we get recaps of Harlan laying out Brian Kendrick. Joe Wayne Gacy offers an apology. And Karen Q is sleeping in the crowd. Let's get to more. Grizzled hung veterans are trying to figure out how to outsmart the Creed brothers when they can't even pull off any of this uber crime stuff that they're doing or stealing an old lady's wallet or old lady's inheritance. And remember when the grizzled young veterans were allowed to wrestle and actually be entertaining that way, and now they're doing this comedy stuff that even though I'm sure they're entertaining guys, it's not working? Yeah, it's really bad. So, Grayson Waller knocks Gargano in front of Indy and Persia. Well, speaking of Indy and Persia, death by Snoo Snoo would be appropriate and would be most definitely welcome. Moving hastily on from that image that I put in everybody's head, and moving hastily on from any kind of people coming at me for being a little too mean, let's talk about Grayson Waller. No, actually, let's just talk about the Creeds versus the Grizzled Hung Veterans. Oh wait, I don't care, because Jack at times showed up and did Japanese commentary. I like Kushida, and I'm sure Jiro's a nice guy. I fucking hate this team. It's stupid. It's embarrassing to tag team wrestling. And it ends in a brawl when Briggs and Jensen come out and we get everybody brawling. Because why the fuck wouldn't you just have everybody goddamn brawl? Just take all these teams, humans had to be in together, and just basically wreck your guy. The tag team division's a dumpster fire. Get rid of the tag team division. Get rid of the tag titles if you're going to do this shit. Io and Zoe are backstage, and Zoe's going to get checked out by the doctors. And apparently, since they only have one doctor on staff, I assume because of the pandemic, they send all the doctors away, and they will go play golf or be at another hospital, or rather, local medical facility. God damn it, you better say local medical facility next time, Vic, or otherwise, I'll can you, I'll fire you. Ha ha ha! So anyway, Wild Mendoza want to talk to the doctor, but no, Io yells at them, and then yells at them in Japanese. God, I wish that was me. And then Elektra confronts her. Let me just say right now, Elektra and Zoe is not a match I'd want to see, even if Zoe was healthy. Elektra and Io? Ooh, boy, do I want to see. Actually, I would like to see Elektra versus Zoe if Elektra beat her in about 2 minutes, because Zoe Stark is not interesting. And anyway, then Dexter Lumis and Tricky Ticky Williams are talking, or, basically... Well, actually, rather, Tricky Ticky Williams was talking to Hayes earlier, and now he is going to be facing off against Dexter Lumis. And Tricky Ticky is not afraid of Lumis. And then Strong fought off with Carmelo Hayes because they're going to have a champion versus champion match. Winner takes all at New Year's Evil. And my goodness, they tried, but I didn't care about this match. Silence for the win. The sounds of silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I see Dexter Lumis has not blinked again. So anyway, Grayson Waller is in such a loud shirt, so goddamn loud I think a blind man in space heard him. How a blind man got in space, I have no idea. Maybe it's Stevie Wonder. Is he really out in space? Okay, terrible. Sorry to everybody. Now everybody that's a Stevie Wonder fan is deaf. And, he lays out Dexter Lumis. He's going to take out everybody one by one. Styles pulls up, and then we go to a break. Done with the pre-tape on Tony D. He is going to violently finger and bash his head in. Grayson yells about his recent work, and here's AJ Styles. The Grayson community. Anyway, butchered that joke. Yeah, AJ Styles says, you've been hot for a few weeks and you think that's good. Try being phenomenal for 20 fucking years. He didn't say fucking. It's kind of funny having rewatched the last year of WCW and seeing how AJ Styles was an extra, a paramedic and a couple other things like security guard, and then finally got his shot, like being on WCW television and I think like the last 6 weeks. And it's just really, really weird to see that guy, put him in TNA, and then just see where he is now. It's remarkable. It's fun. And I know he worked a little bit before that, but it's still remarkable to see where he came from. And they, it's like, you're the biggest jackass in NXT. They go back and forth. And Waller, is going to fight him, but he leaves. Because when the odds are even and it's not a woman that he can harass, allegedly, Grayson Waller decides to chicken out. And then we get the Diamond Mine talking about respect and money. It's going to be title versus title, according to Malcolm Bivens. And then we get MSK and Riddle. Why is this happening? They had a hallucination thing where they were riding scooters, got hit by a goddamn car in the most stupid way possible. Are they trying to make me hate MSK? Because I don't hate MSK in the ring. I just don't understand this comedy because it's not good. It's not good at all. And I don't even think it's their fault, but it's Riddle. And Riddle is just like walking death when it comes to talking. And then Riddle is going to be with them next week, but then they get hit by the car. But then, oh no, they didn't get hit by the car and they scooter off. So at this point, I was questioning whether I should start a petition maybe to get USA Network to take WWE NXT 2.0 off the network or off their network and maybe put it on the cock. So, Von Wagner, heavy metal Von Wagner. Here, let's see, Von Wagner, that's appropriate. Let's just do that with Von Wagner. It'd be hard to do that with that Cro-Magnon skull. Robert Stone is at ringside, and Von Wagner loses to Idris Enofe in a few minutes via roll-up. Why? Nothing against Idris. I don't know. And Von Wagner lays him out to impress Robert Stone. Robert Stone hasn't had a good track record being a manager, but whatever. I remember Robert Stone actually was taken seriously as a wrestler, even though he's a bit comedic. The guy can work. I don't know. So, Imperium knocked MSK in their Italian and German language, and I'm sure Rox was perfectly fine. You were fine, weren't you, Rox? They find a shaman, but we have a general. Shaman general. New Year's Evil card rundown. Elektra Lopez backstage and Zion is lurking. To be fair, don't blame him for looking at Elektra Lopez. And we get WWE, Boys and Girls Club, the charity thing. To quote Stephanie McMahon, philanthropy is the future of marketing. It's the way brands are going to win. I'm not saying that the talents don't care about it, but we know the charity stuff in WWE and other companies is pretty much just PR bullshit. But again, I'm glad the wrestlers can put smiles on people's faces. But we know how Stephanie fucking feels. I don't care if that tweet's about 6.5, almost 7 years old. It's still the same. Merry Christmas for me being a goddamn jackass. But I don't care. So, Elektra Lopez took on Io Shirai. It was fine. I was perfectly fine during this match. Why would you guys question that? Stop questioning it. I was fine during this match. No. Zion ends up showing up, laying out both guys, and has something in his mouth. He has something in his mouth for Elektra. It's a mistletoe. Oh my, and man, that was a lot of goddamn sexual tension. So much, I was almost pressure washed by it. Or it's like, sprayed in the goddamn face with a hose. A big, massive hose. Moving on. But no, Zion got denied with the kiss under the mistletoe. And then Io Shirai fisted her almost under the mistletoe and then hit the moonsault 1, 2, 3. And that's it. Hayes then accepts Strong's challenge for next week, or 2 weeks from now, rather. And then Tony D'Angelo took on Peter Dunne. Dun. But first, Brian Kendrick says he signed a waiver and he will face Harlan Myers next week. And that way, Harlan can get the apology because Brian Kendrick called him a freak. The crowd was fired up for both these guys, Tony D'Angelo and Peter Dunne, and great suplexes by D'Angelo. He shined here. I didn't have a problem with Dunne winning here because it made sense because Tony got his revenge a little bit afterwards. And Tony has been, you had to give Dunne something if you were going to have, Tony get the victory in, a blow-off, like a street fight or something at New Year's Evil. Maybe it's going to be a crowbar and mouthpiece on a pole match. Vince Russo has struck again. So anyway, Dunne was violently fingering Tony D'Angelo during the break, and then Tony was using his power with more suplexes. We get arm focus, we get a crowbar put in there, how they got Devon Storm under the ring, and in Orlando, I have no idea. But he tried to hit him with it, but no, he couldn't. And we get, the fingers popped and the bitter end, 1, 2, 3. But then Tony blindsides me, taking his mouthpiece out a little bit earlier, taking it right out of his mouth, pulling it right out of his mouth because he didn't want him to finish too soon. Have fun on seeing that. And he hits him with a crowbar, putting Crowbar in his mouth, and then slamming him around and everything and beating him up. So obviously we're going to get a bit of a blow off, at New Year's Eve or maybe even soon after that. Who knows? So yeah, the show ended fine. I didn't mind Tony D'Angelo. I was curious about Tony D'Angelo taking a loss, but more I think about it, that was fine. Rest of the show, pretty much a mixed bag at best. But we here at Price is Right Wrestling would like to remind you to control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Merry Christmas and goodbye, everybody.